Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nicholas Dragone, and with the Overwatch League Grand Finals passing just yesterday, it is finally time that we here at Esports Talk covered some Overwatch news. There have been a good amount of you in the comments asking for it for a while now, so without further ado, let's discuss those Grand Finals games that we just saw over the weekend. For the past couple of weeks, we saw some of the best Overwatch League teams competing in the finals to grab a spot in the Grand Finals. The San Francisco Shock were clearly a huge contender, going 4-0 against the Hangzhou Spark and the New York Excelsior, while the Titans had a bit of a closer game against Excelsior, going 4-3. But of course, we ended up with San Francisco Shock and the Vancouver Titans to be competing in the Grand Finals for a $1.1 million prize and the championship trophy taking place in Philadelphia. The Shock and the Titans have an interesting history going into the Grand Finals. Last year, we saw the Philadelphia Fusion going against the London Spitfire, where the Spitfire took the trophy in a decisive victory and were crowned kings of OWL. This year, though, we would be seeing something different, because if we look at the teams that were competing this year versus the teams that were competing last year, the outcome was way less predictable. Both of them have incredibly talented players, of course, but this time around, it felt like we were actually watching the two best teams of Overwatch competing. And I say that because, and this is my opinion, so feel free to agree or disagree, but the matchup of the Spitfire and the Fusion last year was not nearly as exciting as a matchup as what we saw this year. And keep in mind, I'm saying that the matchup itself was more exciting. But this year, we saw an amazing performance by the two teams here, especially the San Francisco Shock, which, spoilers ahead if you have not watched the Grand Finals yet, but the Shock absolutely dominated the Titans. They ended up going 4-0 against them, only losing a few rounds along the way, but never losing a single map. Highlight time, though. The first map, Lijiang Tower, was a quick and easy win for the Shock, with their very own Sinatra having a field day with Doomfist, getting 37 kills, but on the other side, we saw some decent opposition from Haxel, who got 23 kills.
Much more than that, man. A pretty big, beefy tank, so you take a look at this replay from Sinatra's POV. Uses a Meteor Strike to stay alive, he gets stunned, but the good halt that comes in from Smurf gets him to 3 kills.
The second map was Eichenwald, where Architect started playing Bastion, and the Titans had a pretty hard time shutting him down, but both teams had won 3 rounds, so it was close.
So thrown out, and Janu is lifted aloft and frozen solid in place. The nastiest combo from the Shock and the Titans, man, they can't do anything about it. They have to back up once more.
The third map was Temple of Anubis, which was definitely the closest map that the Shock came to losing, but they still pulled through despite the chaos, clutching the map that they almost lost.
Abilities pay, the even 12. Sinatra goes in early. Look at the disruption in the backline. Meteor Strike, he gets rid of the supercharger, and Slime is down. The Lucio is missing. Violet gets himself another one, and Sinatra's far from done. They get rid of Twilight in the offside room, and then San Francisco Shock.
And finally, we saw them playing on Watchpoint Gibraltar as the last map, where again, Architect's Bastion was just too powerful for the Titans.
TZ is down already, though. They've lost their main tank, and Architect is bringing the thunder from the back. It's a rain of bullets, and the Titans can't do a thing about it. Only a few seconds left. Somitsu is removed from the face of the map, and Architect is time to get his hands dirty.
And that is where the San Francisco Shock closed out the game with a crushing 4-0 victory against the Vancouver Titans. But there's a couple things I'd like to point out here. Choi Obin played a lot of Sigma during the Grand Finals, and good lord, is he really good at him. We cannot forget his performance. He was a huge factor in his team's victory, and he even won MVP. Another thing to mention is that despite Striker's hand injuries, we still saw him playing on his Reaper, and he did not disappoint, though many will argue that Siominsu played a better Reaper. The Shock had a bit of a leg up with their more flexible roster, as we saw through the course of the tournament, where every other map they would swap out Striker and Sinatra, which just gave the Titans a very hard time because they were constantly trying to adapt to San Francisco's strategies. But overall, what an intense series of games we saw, and what an incredible performance by those teams and those players. I just kind of wish that they didn't end up 4-0ing them, because I was really enjoying watching it, and I was, just having a good time, and it just ended too quickly. But I guess overall that kind of just tells us that the San Francisco Shock definitely deserve to win, and they do definitely hold some of the best players in the world. But with the passing of the Grand Finals, we got an exciting look at a brand new esports arena that is being built solely for esports. About 6 months ago, back in March, the Philadelphia Fusion teased their new esports arena, releasing a video that showed mock-up designs and 3D renderings and all that good stuff, and holy crap, it looks pretty cool. On the 25th of this month, they made another Twitter post, kind of just re-announcing it, I guess. I don't know. They pretty much made another video that just shows like a lot of the same things that it was before. They just kind of made an updated video, new teaser for it. They made some changes to it, but I think they made this one, they made this new post because they finally broke ground on it, and they have started its process of construction. This is huge for Philadelphia, and this is huge for esports. It's going to cost roughly $50 million, and it's the first arena in the Western Hemisphere that is being built specifically for gaming competitions. It's supposed to make the city at least $1 million in the first year of its opening. That's what they've predicted, and it's going to be making about 500 construction jobs, and it's expected to be finished being built by 2021. The Philadelphia Fusion will, of course, be making this their home arena, and with the Overwatch Grand Finals just passing, with it being in Philadelphia, I kind of wish we could have seen them playing in this arena instead because it looks really cool. But of course, it's not done yet, so we gotta wait. As always, guys, my name is Nicholas Dragon. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Overwatch News because we will be bringing you more of it. Like I've said, we've been listening and it's coming. So stay tuned, guys. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I'll be seeing you guys shortly with another video. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.